Well, good afternoon, everyone. 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here on our, well, it's Tuesday. It feels like Wednesday already. That's going to mess me up all week long. We actually have a lot to talk about out there today. Let me kind of get this pulled up here so I can see what your comments are. Here we go now. All right, can you hear me? I think you can hear me as well. Let's take a look at that. Looks like it. Yes, you can. All right. So let's get started. Lot going on this week. We had the storm system that moved in out west. It's come across. It's now forming a nor'easter in the northeast, obviously. And that's going to be a big-time storm system. And then we've got fall air coming in here and with some wind as well. And before that all happens for us, we're actually going to get some good storms in here, I think, by Thursday morning. So let's get over to the computer right now. Let's talk about what's going on up north first. So this is the system that's developing. You can see some pretty heavy rainfall in parts of Long Island, especially eastern Long Island right now. The winds are starting to pick up there as well too, but you can see the low is pretty much centered. Kind of tough to see. It's somewhere in here. It's going to change, and there's going to be a low developing out here off the coast, and it's going to kind of drift off towards the east. And as that develops, it will deepen, and that will become the main low pressure system. And that's going to end up really cranking up and probably end up being what's called another bomb cyclone. I'll talk about that coming up in just a minute. But very heavy rainfall right now. This rainfall that you see in upstate New York, especially from Syracuse all the way up to Buffalo, that's going to be very heavy at times. It will be cranking down, I think, east of I-81, but west of there, some of the heaviest rain. And then as it moves further east, some of that rain will get dragged back across the area. Now, here's the forecast model from this morning. I'm going to run it all the way out through overnight tonight. And you see the low developing offshore. And look at these wind gusts. And these are forecast wind gusts, but look at Boston. Gusting to 68. And there are some models that are suggesting that, especially out on the Cape, Martha's Vineyard area, could see wind gusts in the hurricane force range, which would be 74 to 80 mile per hour winds right in there. It's certainly possible, especially out that far. Not as possible. I mean, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts for most of New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. If you've got flight plans from Tampa, you're going up, that's going to be a tough one for today. And even in tonight, this is 2 in the morning where some of those highest winds are going. And then you notice it starts to pull away as we move through the early morning hours tomorrow, and then that's tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours. It's 11 p.m. Wednesday. So now it's moved offshore, rain stops, winds turn around in the north, northeast. Actually don't change much, but they do come down. So it's tonight and tomorrow for the northeast. So if you have any travel plans, keep that in mind. Certainly that is going to be an issue. So what is this bomb cyclone everybody's talking about, and all the headlines, and really crazy kind of headlines that we've seen on it? It is essentially when a low pressure system drops 24 millibars in 24 hours. That is quick, and that is considered bombogenesis, right? So we call it a bomb. It bombs out is what we say. We don't really call it a bomb cyclone that much, but that's what it is. We just say, hey man, this low is bombing out, which means it's strengthening very quickly. 24 hours or less, when this system went into the west coast, Saturday night it had a 968 millibar pressure. By Sunday morning, 12 hours later, it was 25 millibars lower. So that, it has to do that in 24 hours, and it certainly did that. In fact, it did it almost in about 8 to 9 hours to 24 millibars. So that's what that is. And when the low comes across and develops off the east coast, if it develops quick enough, it can be called a bomb cyclone. It's still a low pressure system. It could be a strong one, yeah, but that's all it is. And it can happen even in the tropics. Usually it's a mid-latitude storm, which is a storm over the United States. But if you have a tropical system that's dropping very quickly, you can say the same thing. It's bombing out. So that's all that is. All right, now let's talk about what's going on over the next several days. So put a little timeline here, and this is for the Tampa area. So this afternoon, we're getting drier, cooler air coming in slowly, but it's warm out there. And it was really humid this morning, but you've probably already noticed the difference in the dew points this afternoon, and that will continue to drop a little bit as we move through tonight. So tomorrow, mostly sunny, beautiful day. 60s in the morning, mid-80s in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, we see the clouds increase, and that's towards sunset. So it'll be a pretty good looking sunset, but the clouds thickening. Before the sun comes up Thursday, some areas could see some rain right along the immediate coast. It's likely going to be from sunrise through about maybe 11 in the morning, where we're going to see storms roll through the area, and some of those could be on the strong side. Then we get over to Thursday night, we'll push the rain out, we'll even get a front to come through, and the rain will be ending. Friday, I did keep an isolated shower forecast in there because Friday we're going to get what's called cold air advection. And it's cooler, drier air coming in across the Gulf of Mexico from the northwest. That water's 80 degrees almost. The air is going to be in the 60s, and that cooler air will actually pick up moisture off of that warm Gulf and then make low clouds and blow them onshore. So Friday's windy. Friday's pretty cloudy, especially at the coast, and there could be a sprinkle or two coming out of those. Certainly can't rule that out for Friday. And then Friday night, we'll kind of continue that, although the winds will gradually come back down. And then Saturday, more of the same, although we'll see more sunshine and less wind as Saturday moves on. But Saturday will certainly still be breezy. So let's go out there right now. You can see nothing going on now, very quiet. That's the dry air coming in. You can actually even see that the clouds, you can see the back line right here coming through now. So things will be drying out. Temps, low to mid 80s. But look at Bartow, frostproof, Wauchula, inland locations, upper 80s. Dew points finally starting to drop up north. Crystal River's at 64. 73 though for Carrollwood, Tampa, St. Pete at 70. That's very sticky air. But look, it's not far behind. I mean, Gainesville now sitting at 51, and you can see some 40s up towards Tallahassee. So that's really dry air. We'll get a taste of that tonight. You can see the numbers dropping down through the 60s, low 60s by tomorrow morning. That's much more comfortable than the low to mid 70s that we've seen. And that'll come in on these northwesterly winds. And so a little breezy out there this afternoon and this evening, but nothing terrible, but definitely a little bumpy out on the water. Now, dew points. Once this air comes in here, we're going to bounce it back up, real humid air by Thursday with the rain, and then behind it Thursday night with the front, we'll start to bring the dry air back in. And look at that through Tuesday, in fact, really through Wednesday, Thursday of next week. We'll keep it almost a week's worth of it, very dry air. So once we get it in here after Thursday night, it's going to stick around for a while. So here are the storm chances, and this is now being pushed back a little bit as far as timing goes. This is about 9 in the morning on Thursday morning. And this initial line right here, remember, it's going to be windy. We're going to get some thunderstorms, and some of those could be on the strong side. There's 11 o'clock in the morning. That's 1:30, 2 o'clock, especially south of I-4. Then after that, by about 3:30, 4 o'clock, it's almost all out of here. The front itself will come through Thursday night, switch the winds around to the west, and that is what really will dictate the difference between the warm, moist air out ahead of the front and the cooler, dry air behind it. And look at the winds. I mean, we're talking 15 to 25 mile per hour winds. We'll see some gusts in the low 30s, especially early Friday morning and into the early afternoon hours. So here's the next 3 days. You can see tomorrow looks great, 0% chance for rain. Strong storms are possible on Thursday, and look at that coverage. Pretty good coverage. We're going to get a good dousing of rainfall for most areas by Thursday afternoon. And then Friday, you can see just a little bit of shower activity. I went 20 to 30%. It's not a lot, but it'll be kind of a cloudy, windy day. And we will be talking about just a few showers. Now, severe weather threat for Wednesdays across the deep south, Houston to Texas, almost to Panama City. For us, we are going to be in a slight risk on Thursday. So you can see that, especially from Tampa northward. I think the best chance for severe weather is likely to be Tallahassee all the way to Jacksonville. There's going to be a lot of lift in the atmosphere there. For us, this basically means gusty winds. If you look at the atmosphere, the winds at the surface are going to be out of the west-southwest. You go up higher in the atmosphere, basically still out of the west-southwest. That's good. When you see that, and they'll pick up a little bit, what you tend to see is thunderstorms that produce straight-line winds. So, 60 mile per hour winds, or maybe a little bit higher in some of the stronger storms. When you see those numbers that wind direction starting to turn as you go up, then you start watching for rotating thunderstorms because of that turn. And those can produce waterspouts and tornadoes. But we will keep an eye out for a waterspout. It can't be ruled out, but right now it looks like if we're going to get severe weather, it would just be some heavy winds. All right, so here's the forecast. Beautiful evening, much drier air moving in, clear skies for the most part. Tomorrow, beautiful day, low to mid 80s, lower humidity. It's going to get even lower as we get into the weekend, so get ready for that. Boating forecast, northwest winds at 15 knots. Now, that's pretty much for tomorrow as well. It's going to actually turn around to the southwest late in the day tomorrow and pick up. So boating is going to go downhill Wednesday afternoon. Water temperature now is at about 82 degrees. Here are those winds at noon on Thursday. So you can see, like, look at Fort Myers. That's kind of what we get on Wednesday tomorrow. Southwest winds, teens to near 20. And then you see they really pick up early Thursday morning out of the southwest. And then as we go through Friday morning, they're already turning out of the west. But still, these are sustained numbers that you're looking at. It means winds sustained around 20 miles per hour. And that'll easily put gusts in the upper 20s to near 30 at the coast. You know, see the yellow shading right there along the immediate coast? Right in there. That shows where the highest winds are. Look at Polk County, already DeSoto Highlands. No, we're not going to see as much wind, but yeah, it'll be certainly a breezy day inland, windy along the immediate coast. Saturday morning, keep the northwest wind, west-northwest, but a little less of it. And then Saturday afternoon into Sunday morning, look at that. The winds start to come down and actually turn to the north just a little bit. So looking a whole lot better there. And look, guys, that was Halloween. Halloween's looking good. The thing about Halloween is, number one, the storm's coming through on Thursday. The threat, again, is wind, right? The main threat. And then Friday is a really windy day altogether. So a lot of this stuff's going to get blown around, like what's going to happen up in the Northeast tonight and tomorrow morning with that nor'easter. We're going to get pretty good wind around here. Nothing like what they'll see, of course. But watch those decorations. They'll be on I think many of them will be on the move. And even Saturday, still a little bit on the breezy side. Look at the air coming in behind it. Look at these temperatures. This is fantastic. Down into the 70s for highs, barely there on Thursday with the clouds and storms. And then Friday with the clouds, we'll actually get mid-70s. Remember, the wind's coming in off the water, but it's bringing in a cooler, drier air mass at the same time. And so as a result, Saturday, a high of 74. Yeah, both Saturday and Sunday. Low to mid-70s for highs. Trick-or-treat time looks fantastic. And even next week looks good with highs upper 70s to low 80s and lower humidity until the end of the week, Friday or so. We'll get some more rain, I think. But there's the forecast for Halloween, 77 degrees. Now, that's the high temperature. Trick-or-treat time will be in the low to mid-70s, say about 73, 74 degrees, and slowly falling as well. And it's going to be very comfortable. It won't be a very windy day out there either. Nicest Halloween in years. Yeah, this will be one of the best. 2020, last year, we were 86. 2019, we were 88. Warm in 2018. Look how warm they were. And you go back to 2015, 89 was the high that Halloween, and that's the record for the date as well, too. So, yeah, we're going to be right about where we should be. Very similar to what we were like in 2017. So if you look at your Facebook pics and figure out what you dressed up that year, you'll know, you'll remember. All right, Natalie just updated this. This is the atmospheric moisture graph, and what this shows you basically is the dry air in brown. The green is the moist air. There are storms on Thursday. Look at Texas, Louisiana. That is the air mass. See how it's diving southeast this far to the west? That's going to allow this to really come through. Watch what happens. It comes all the way through. Look at this to the northern Bahamas. They get the dry and cooler air as well, too. So it's coming all the way through. In fact, let me back this up. Look at Cuba. Even Cuba, most of Cuba at least, is going to get some really cool and dry air. So this thing's plunging southward. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop it here on Thursday because we still stay pretty nice. But as we get into Friday, we're going to try and do this all over again. Here comes another surge of moisture. Comes some cooler, drier air back behind it. We'll see what that looks like, but that would be Friday, Saturday of next weekend. All right, so the low, the nor'easter that you see sitting up here, right? They're watching it in the tropics at the Hurricane Center and saying this thing's going to move out eastward and could gain some subtropical characteristics out here. It's got about a 50% chance of doing so. Doesn't matter. It's going out here anyways. So that's the tropics. Here's what it looks like on the GFS model. You can see it does pretty much pull almost due east. Meanwhile, this is the area that we would be watching this time of year, right? Western Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, Bahamas, nothing. Through, let's go all the way out. I think I stopped at Halloween here. There's the system falling apart. Another low. The secondary low is going to move into New England by Halloween. It's not a big nor'easter like they're seeing now, but kind of rainy weather going through. And then you've got still Halloween still quiet in the tropics where we would be concerned. Big old high pressure in the green you see there moving across the United States. This is November 5th. We'll be watching something in here. Not seeing anything. I mean, Wanda's the next name on the list, and it might be a toughie. All right, here we go. That is the 7-day forecast, looking really good out there. Once we get through Thursday afternoon, things will really quiet down. I mean, it's going to be windy on Friday and breezy on Saturday, but not a whole lot going on except for a few sprinkles, especially on Friday. So the weekend looks fantastic. It is fall, y'all, and it is going to feel like it. All right, any questions out there? I see Albert saying some things. Massive systems for so early. Yeah, this one is, AJ, you know, it's cool. It's a cool shot of air, and the water is relatively warm, and so you get those baroclinic processes going, and it can really crank those things up pretty quickly. All right, anything else? Looking pretty good. All right, guys, we'll be on at 5 o'clock tonight. Natalie will be on at 6 o'clock. And we'll have the latest forecast for you. And if you got any questions or anything like that, don't forget to hit the comment section. Of course, we'll hit you up there. Thank you.